Hello and welcome. This week on The Journal, we'll watch a documentary on the entertaining and euphoric biking lifestyle. And we'll also learn about of spoken word. In addition to that, we'll take a deep look into animal shelters with Juie Desai. We'll take the tour of the haunted house in Toronto's High Park. And we will also explore the future of indie gaming with visual artist and gaming curator Scott Deeming. And for our last documentary, it will be a nice trip into Candyland with chocolate. Lots and lots of chocolate. Don't forget, we have a special interview with two communication students who are running a fundraising event for Art Starts. And we also have a special musical performance at the end of the show. All of this on another exciting episode of The Journal.
Okay, sweet.
The blast shock passes in a matter of seconds, and the heat and blast effects you can see and feel. You cannot sense the presence of nuclear radiation effects.
I'll be one of your hosts this episode, Jossyl Bacalla, and with me today is our other host, Mitch Keenan.
Thanks, Jossyl. For those of you who don't know, The Journal is a student-run show that showcases student-made documentaries here from Centennial College.
The documentaries feature a very large spectrum of subjects like interesting events, interesting places, and especially interesting people, and it can all be found here, the making of The Journal, a very interesting show.
We've got a lot of ground to cover for today, so let's get right into it. Our first documentary, coincidentally, is mine, Arjun.
We live in an age that moves us. It was somebody's life work that designed rail transit and the motor car, but sometimes it's best to ignore that inheritance and get somewhere by your own faculties. Not even the fanciest of looking glasses will let you see the big picture. For no good reason except for my attitude, I took a long road south to Woodbine Beach. I see a lot of hip young kids these days that pretend to travel up and down town on bikes and skateboards. For the first part of my trip, I pretended to be one of them, running as many red lights as I could. But once I hit the downtown core, I was mainstreamed. Although my tiny vehicle was faster than the gridlocked cars around me, red light after red light came upon my way, and I found I was a sucker like everyone else. Only at the end of the road did I finally touch a bike lane, but my quest was not yet complete.
Trying to get to the beaches. Is this way, right? Beaches? That way. Thanks.
It took me a few wrong turns and a brief chase with a human waste truck to get me back on track to Woodbine Beach. I remembered my favorite snack stand and pegged the place as my final destination. I was lucky to have brought my own refreshments. I had always been so amused by that Sunday drive people keep raving about. I think they're suckers. Thursday bike trips are where it's at.
Beautiful stuff.
Certainly.
Hey, Jossyl, you seem to have grown.
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, forget it then. It's time for another documentary. This one's from Toni Fracis about spoken word. Ah, yes, spoken word.
Ah, yes. Toni Francis.
Arjun?
To watch the show to teach you how to be a sexier chicken. Base sexuality as your main objective. Never taking a stand on who you are. Your beauty as a collective.
Here's my roach, cause I'm done token. I've lost my feeling, my heart is beating, life's lost its meaning, but still that's one in the back of my mind needs healing. Proceeding.
Years, the honest proclamation of memory is a harsh mistress, but forgiveness is a sea that we both choose to wash our feet in. Yesterday, in a sad dress, she walks away.
Martin Luther had a dream to resurrect the minds of our kings and queens, waking up the world to make reality of our dreams, turning the community into a team. Activists, making art and reaching hearts. We are artivists, using art to educate the minds of the masses. Urging you to partake in our spiritual classes every Monday night at 6. There's a revolution. I seen a problem, and love is the solution. Edutainment for the stars who forgot to shine, educating the minds, entertaining the blind.
For you being down, why? Cause I got up and left, right? You used to have a drive until you encountered a red light. Red Bull and red stripe, baby, that's a stupid mix. That type of cross will leave a nigga stuck. Crucifix. Cause me, I keep it energized, and baby, you was too relaxed, weak, just a 7-day fool. Could've been Julie Black, got somewhere to elevate too.
My motivation comes from youth still in the slums of their mind, asleep. They're lying in truth, implying we need to take back our youth, reaching intelligent souls everywhere. I got tired of seeing bullet holes everywhere. I lost friends to violence. The victims remain silent. Our lives are timeless, so we provide a mic to remind them that love still exists. Turn your negatives into a positives, your sufferings into inspiration, and inspire those who suffer. Helping those who stand understand, paving a path for our children so they don't have to slumber on their dreams. I believe that one day we will have a global community, a world that comes in unity. We will create a better world for our youth. We've substituted the idea of making a change for making a change in our pockets, losing the idea of historical profits to make historical profit. One day we will, though. One day we will, because losing is not an option.
It is not an option. 100.
One of the greatest stress relievers in life is having a companion who loves you unconditionally, whether it may be a dog, a cat, a guinea pig, a ferret, a rabbit, a bird, or even a turtle. The Toronto Human Society is known to be a shelter for these animals. just waiting to be adopted. I decided to go on a little journey at the shelter to find a cute companion for myself. I walked down the hallway into a room which was filled with many cages, and in each cage there was a cat, sitting, purring, playing, and waiting to be taken to a home. I realized that cats have beautiful eyes, mystical even. I then walked into a long, narrow hallway, filled with metal cells. It almost looked as if it were jail cells. I looked into each cage and noticed that in every cage was a dog barking and playing. As soon as they saw me, they immediately thought that it was either time for food or time for a walk. Unfortunately, these dogs were way too energetic, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to give them the attention that they'd expect. I thought about looking apart from the two most common house pets, which are cats and dogs. I went to another room, which was filled with rabbits. Must have been 10 rabbits, all in glass-like bins. I peeked inside each bin and noticed the rabbits hopping around or sleeping. They were all so adorable. I thought about adopting one, but then figured why not see the rest of the animals. So I continued on, hoping to see more companions along the way. I came across a guinea pig cage, which was right across the rabbits' glass bins. The guinea pigs all started chirping when they saw me, that I'll bring them food or something. The guinea pigs were just as cute. The only problem was, guinea pigs only last for 3 to 6 years. Unfortunately, I was looking for a long-term companion. I went on to look at birds. I never knew they were up for adoption till now. It was something I'd never expected. I looked at the parrots and the budgies, all happily chirping away. I finally reached the last place at the shelter. It was known as the nursery room, where newborn baby kittens are placed. I put on my gown and plastic gloves just so the oil from my skin doesn't touch the kittens. And I took one of them out and held it against me. I can tell the kitten immediately liked me, and I fell for the kitten. It didn't take long for me to decide that the kitten was indeed the companion I was searching for.
Hi there again, Jossyl here. That last doc, if you didn't catch, was made by Juie Desai.
Beautiful stuff. Coming up next, Jeffrey Prawdiuk-Spurr is going to take you for a ride with his documentary about the special haunted house at High Park. Check it out. Arjun!
Coffin is laid out in the second parlor. Most Victorian homes have 2 parlors for that reason. Not for the coffin reason, but for the guest reason. And so Mr. Howard's body was here. He's got the Union Jack on him because he was English. And there's a beautiful chair right there. And that is for someone to sit up with the body. You would take shifts with the other family members, and you would always have someone awake near the coffin.
I'm a historical interpreter. And what that basically means is I lead tours and programs for visitors, general public, school groups, or in the case of the Haunted High Park tours, interested parties that come for the special events, and I talk about the history of the house, things that have happened here, and I try and help bring history to life, I guess you could say. I think people are always interested in the unknown. you know, some people more than others have a sense of something else being out there, and even if you don't believe in that stuff, there's plenty of dark nights and strange noises that can kind of give you a twinge in the back of your neck or something feeling at the base of your spine. So I think people just like teasing themselves with that scaredness, if that's even a word, from time to time. And yeah, just getting a feel for what might be out there. Just because it's a little more comforting to know that in this workaday world there's always something bigger and more mysterious that might be discovered yet.
It was really good, actually. Like, it really told you a lot about the story behind the house and little things that you didn't think would pick up, like the closet door. And it just gave you some little fun facts, and it set the Halloween scene pretty well.
And in 1846, his wife took ill and passed away. And he was absolutely mortified. He was heartbroken. He couldn't go on with his life.
You know, you going upstairs, there's shadows and shapes that are bound to give you a bit of a shock. But there's certainly plenty of anecdotal evidence and other people that have seen or heard things. Just this year, past March, somebody claimed to have seen the ghost of Mr. Howard outside the cannon on the front lawn doing some painting. Of course, the bedroom window that's in the I guess that'd be northwest corner of the house, that's the main one that a lot of people claim to have seen the shape of a woman peering down. And of course, that's the room that Jemima Howard spent the last few years of her life in and actually died in that room.
I liked when we walked upstairs and you walked into the woman's bedroom and there was a lady in black.
Yeah.
And for a moment I thought, am I the only one that's seeing that? Or that was fun. There was just one mannequin in the whole house, and it was neat. It was kind of scary.
Not yet.
Welcome back. We have some special guests here today on the Journal. I'm sitting here with communication students. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Sarah McKinnon and Barbara Lorero.
So guys, you are a part of Art Starts. What is Art Starts?
So Art Starts is a Toronto-based charity, and we're two of 6 communication students who are working in collaboration with this charity to create an event.
Okay, and how did Art Starts begin?
So Art Starts was started in 1992 by 4 socially minded artists who were committed to creating social change in Toronto's underserved communities.
Interesting. So as communication students, as you two are, how are you guys involved with Art Starts?
So we're actually running an event called Brave Art, and we're basically trying to raise funds and create awareness of the Art Start program, and also bring in a new demographic of volunteers between the age of 18 and 30, and we're doing it in support with TV personalities George Strombo and bloggers Brock McLaughlin and Lauren O'Neill.
And also Eric Alper, actually.
Yes. I feel like I'm really excited about that
one. Yeah, no.
What do people hope to see from the Brave Arts event?
Well, it's on December 3rd at the Klassen Hotel. Doors open at 7. It's $5 cover, and all the money does go to the charity. We do have 3 live musical acts, 2 bands, and 1 MC. We also have a live art component and a graffiti wall.
Yeah, and we're actually working with 3 of Centennial College's own artists, Saurin Galloway, James O'Core, and Ashley Pleasant. So they're going to be doing the live art component, which is kind of exciting.
Oh, so that does sound something that's like really interesting.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to go out there, go to the Gladstone Hotel. That's where it is, December 3rd, right? Definitely check that out. That sounds like a great event that's going to be going on. So thank you very much for coming here today on the Journal. All right, everyone, let's go to Mitch to introduce our next documentary.
Thanks, Jossyl. Our next documentary, directed by Shelemay, will help open our eyes to the exciting future of indie gaming. Let's take a look. Arjun.
Hi, I'm Scott Deeming, also known as Mr. Ghosty, and I'm a visual artist who hacks and modifies video game consoles and controllers in my artwork, but I'm also a game art curator and a video game culture programmer. I program an event series in Interaccess Electronic Media Arts Center, which is an artist-run gallery in Queen West in Toronto called DPAD. DPAD stands for Directions in Play Art Design, And what it is it's kind of a pop-up arcade, video game art show, and dance party, all kind of rolled into one. So people come and they play games that I've programmed that are usually indie games. They can experience art from sort of a wide array of artists who are using video games as sort of the tools and inspiration for their artwork, as well as they can dance to chip music, which is 8-bit dance and electronic music all night. One of the things that I think that that video games as a culture and as a medium is sort of at this like critical juncture right now, and what's happening is that you have sort of these mainstream forms of popular entertainment, kind of like Hollywood blockbuster films. So your Halos and your large budget games, but there's a whole other culture centered around fan cultures, hacking cultures, modding cultures, contemporary art cultures, and these are really underrepresented in popular media. So one of the ways that I try to speak back to that is by programming events that actually incorporate all of those things that people probably aren't seeing, so that they can experience it firsthand for themselves in a social atmosphere, which is what arcades were back in the 70s and 80s when they started up. They were places where people went to play publicly together, which is something that doesn't really happen anymore ever since game consoles sort of ended up in living rooms attached to people's TVs. Basically, we sort of, for a while there, the culture kind of was missing that public sociality that's associated with arcades. And I think pop-up arcades are a really interesting way of bringing that back. Something that I think is a total problem right now with the indie game world, specifically in Toronto, and this is the first time I'll be going on record as saying this, but it's coming, is that indie games are now using a commercial model that's no different than the game industry. They're distributing their games through Sony networks, through Apple networks, and mainstream corporate networks, of course, because they want people to play their games. But to call this something other than what it is, I think is disingenuous. I think what's happening is that the model of production is changing and smaller teams are making different and more innovative work, but these are still commercial works. And people need to be more critical of that. There's sort of this unabashed, we call it, some of my peers call it raw games, and we need to be more critical about the work that's being produced and the conversations that's being had, because right now, indie games, usually people talk about success in terms of numbers of downloads, and all that is talking about games in terms of capital, which is, it's not a numbers game. We need to start talking about art and the quality of the work first, and that other stuff can come later.
You should tell them that.
When I was a kid, I discovered a passion for chocolate through my dad. He used to go traveling a lot in Europe, and he'd come back and bring chocolates for us, the kids. And I found it intriguing. I found it intriguing that it came from different countries. I found the fact that the different flavors were just phenomenal.
Not a lot of people might know that chocolate is very good for you. The history going back to like 5,000 years ago in the Mayan era, it really was part of their culture, so much so that they worshiped chocolate. They used it as currency. It was a big part of their diet. Montezuma is a very famous king back then, and he used to consume about 50 cups of a hot cocoa powder brew a day.
A friend of mine went to Belgium and he studied to become a chocolatier, and I was very jealous, and I basically became his apprentice for a couple of years. We had this idea of maybe interacting with people with chocolate. It wasn't really clear. We didn't really do it for very long together, but I kind of took that idea and kept going. And then, I guess 3 years ago, opened Chocolate Tales. Chocolate Tales is a few things. It's an entertainment company that uses chocolate as its medium. So we're basically engaging with people, and we're using chocolate as a product to bring people together. It's also a concept that will slowly evolve into anything chocolate, basically. We come out to our customers' homes, venues, facilities when they have a certain need. So say, for example, a birthday party. Okay, so they want to entertain the kids, they want to have something fun to do. So we're an arts and crafts style activity using chocolate. And yes, we're also the dessert. So it works really well that way.
The ginger, which I would say
You're hosting people. You're providing them with a good time through flavor, through taste, through dialogue.
when you actually break down chocolate, that's what is really good for you is the cocoa powder. It is so rich in vitamins and nutrients, and so bringing that to the table, bringing that to what we do at Chocolate Tales, is really promoting fine chocolates. And the darker the chocolate, the better it is for you. So we do work with all sorts of different kinds of chocolate. We work with the white chocolate, the milk chocolate, as well as the dark chocolate.
Well, we're not limited in location. So we actually provide our services from Ajax to Niagara, up to Barrie, all the way to London. And we're 7 people going around doing this. So we're mobile, and we I guess we don't miss an opportunity to interact with people. We choose locations that will provide an experience. Okay, so essentially, we're trying to have people really go through a chocolate making experience, and also get a little bit more than that. So, for example, where we're at today, the Mad Bean, it's a intimate experience. If you go to the St. Lawrence Market Kitchen, it's a industrial, very city feel. We have 60 people per workshop. So really, depending on the location, we accommodate a different type of experience. I have a passion for chocolates, absolutely, but many times I put that as on the sidelines. As you mentioned, I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy leaving an impression on people. I enjoy entertaining people, and basically, I guess you could say lifestyle, right? So providing people with an experience that they'll remember and enjoy.
Hello and welcome back. That last doc was my own actually, and I hope you enjoyed it as well as the rest of the documentaries shown today. Sadly, that is the end of our show, but I'd like to thank all of the directors for their documentaries and our special guests, Barbara Loureiro and Sarah McKinnon, for dropping by.
Now let's end the show this episode with that special musical performance we promised. Please welcome Tomash, Carl, and Wayne in I've Got a Friend.
Woo!
I got a friend who will lay no judgment on me. Yeah, I got a friend who will take me for me. For me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he picks me up when I'm down on the ground, makes me smile when I've got a frown, always standing next to me every time I turn around. And when I'm in need, I got a friend indeed. Yes, I've got a friend indeed. I got a friend who will put a good word in for me. Yeah, I got a friend who helps me see me. See me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No ego stands between you and I. That we have lives within the divine, a spiritual bond that transcends space and time. You know when I'm in need, I've got a friend indeed. Yes, I've got a friend indeed. I got a friend who is always on the same page as me. Yeah, I got a friend who is always in tune with me. With me, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, he's always finding a better way to sing. Always thinking of a different kind of thing. Always wondering what time will bring. Knowing I'm in need. I've got a friend indeed. Yes, I've got a friend indeed. I've got a friend indeed. I've got a friend indeed. I got a friend, yes, I got a friend. I'm not alone, no, I'm never alone. Yes, I'm always at home, always at home. 'Cause I got a friend, yes, I got a friend. I've got a friend, I've got a friend, yes, I've got a friend I can trust. Thanks.
Excellent job.
That was really good job, guys. Really good job.
So,
That was
well,
awesome.
that's our show. Thanks for watching it. Another exciting episode of The Journal.
This is Jossyl Bacalla and Mitch Keenan with the best guy in town, Arjun Mano, signing off.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
Monkey on a string, monkey on a string, monkey on a string. You know I gotta cut you loose, gotta cut you loose, gotta cut you loose. Oh, monkey on a string, monkey on a string, monkey on a string. You know I gotta cut you loose, gotta cut the show, gotta cut the show.